everyone, it is day 23 of Bookmas 2018. But so today the prompt is to give your 2019 TBR. Now my 2019 TBR is all the way over here on my sofa. It is 19 books, and then getting them all here together really makes me think like, what am I doing? This is crazy. So I'll try to post a picture of it or something, because there's no way I'm holding up 19 books. But so yeah, I'm just gonna quickly go through them. It's not my intention to make this a super long video, but sadly when you have 19 books to discuss, which is the plan, so 19 books for 2019, then it can tend to get a bit long. You know, if I even only talk 1 minute about each of these books, it's already 90 minutes plus this 2 minutes that I'm introducing it. So yeah, first up, yeah, how am I going to do this? Okay, this one. First up, is Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. So third book in the Stormlight Archive. I have struggled to get this one in the edition I wanted to, and since I now know that I have to wait until August for the edition I have for the first and the second one, I'm just going ahead and changing editions, going to this one, and that way I can always read it when it comes out as well. So Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson, third book in Stormlight Archive. Definitely looking forward to it. Hoping that it is as good as the first one. And in this same strain, this one, Edge Dancer by Brandon Sanderson, which you should actually read before Oathbringer, so this will probably be my first read of 2019. It's a short story that follows one of the characters that is briefly passing through in Words of Radiance, and that is the character of Lift. And I think the first chapter of this book is actually the chapter that you have in Words of Radiance. Moving on to my biggest challenge for the year. It's a huge, humongous classic that, as I'm doing classics in December, should actually go in December, but I'm afraid that I won't be able to finish it if I do that. And that is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I have read Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, and I really, really loved it. So I'm giving this gigantic War and Peace a go. Next up, so the order here is just very much random. It's just the way that I found them in my bookshelf and then I laid them down. The Plot Against America by Philip Roth. At the time that Donald Trump was elected, a lot of people were saying, read The Plot Against America, this is exactly what is happening there. So I'm intrigued and I want to get to it. Finally, 2 years after, 2 years after Trump is in power, I'm finally going to get to it. Then this is part of my goal to actually maybe read something by my favorite authors every single year. So that is amongst others Charles Dickens, but also Haruki Murakami. And so I'll be reading, yeah, I kind of never remember this title, Colorless Tsukuru Tazaki and His Years of Pilgrimage. Don't know too much about it, but that's the way I like going into my Murakami reads, because usually you don't know a lot of what you're reading while you're reading it, so might as well go into it blind. And then I'm bringing one over. I'm actually bringing two over from my 2018 TBR. I have a lot more on my 2018 TBR that I didn't get to, but there are two amongst them that I decided to bring over, and the other ones are just optional. The first one is War and War by Laszlo Krasznahorkai. He's a Hungarian writer, and I've read some very good things about it, and I'm really looking forward to this. However, I'm also on the one hand thinking that it's gonna be very much highbrow maybe, and that's kind of putting me off. Also, I'm reading a lot of war stuff, a lot of negative stuff this year, so it might be the one that I have to move to 2020, because I might still have put it off, but I'm hoping definitely to be able to finish all 19 of these books. The next one is A Short History of Nearly Everything by Bill Bryson. Bill Bryson is a non-fiction author, and I've read some of his travel stories, like A Walk in the Woods. I don't remember what the other one was that I read, but so he has like a very charming way of writing. It's always also slightly humorous, and so I'm very interested in A Short History of Nearly Everything, which is like supposed to be a short history of nearly everything. So journey through space and time. And then we'll get to this one. So as I mentioned before, I want to read something by my favorite authors this year, and so I already have Murakami in there, and this is my Dickens for this year. Nicholas Nickleby by Charles Dickens. When I decided at random to go for Nicholas Nickleby, I did not check the thickness of this book, so it's over 700 pages in a Dickens novel. I've really chosen some big books this year, it seems, so I hope to be doing this. It's gonna take... I'm not sure. I'll try. And then the next 4 books are completing the Man Booker... No, I have 5, but the other one just slipped somewhere down there in the pile. But so the next 5 books are the completion of my Man Booker Prize reads. So I wanted to read the Man Booker Prize shortlist, but I was so late to the game that I only read like the winner, and I read the winner after it was announced. So I'll be getting to the 5 other ones in here. That is The Mars Room by Rachel Kushner. It's Everything Under by Daisy Johnson. The Overstory by Richard Powers. And no, still 2 to go. The Long Take by Robin Robertson. And Washington Black by Essie Adugian. I don't know how to pronounce. Essie Adugian is what I'm making of it. I've heard so many good things about this one, so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm wondering, why are you still not seeing this pile? And it is like right. If I move my hands, it's there. It's almost there, but I'm gonna lose balance over it, so I have to make 2 piles here. Sadly, otherwise I could have shown you just how big it was getting, but it was just too damn big. Now, next one I want to get to is The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. I think the 3rd book is actually also coming out in 2019, but yeah, considering this giant TBR of big books, also another big book, I might have to reassess my plans for next year. Then The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, also 1st book in a trilogy. 3rd book is coming out in January already, so I have no plans of being able to finish this trilogy like right when it comes out. And then we have The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. Recommended it by Peru's Project. I mean, Reagan and Peru's Project is always recommending it, so I really wanted to get to it. I also proposed it for my book club who are doing YA. We were doing like 4 genres this year, one of them is YA, so I proposed this book. We'll see if they choose it. And then I have the second book that I'm taking with me from my 2018 TBR, which is The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. And then I have 2 more to go, and these are my rereads of Harry Potter for this year. And they are Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire and Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix in the Spanish edition. So, Goblet of Fire and Order of the Phoenix. So, yeah. I like myself some big books, and I cannot lie. So I'm actually going to be counting the pages here, and I'll be popping back in later to give you kind of like my plan for getting to all of these books, because I'm gonna need one. So yeah, I've just done the count of the pages, and I end up with like 10,660 pages, which is horrible, because I mean, I think I read at the moment somewhere in the 12,000 or in the 13,000 this year. But so my plan for next year is basically these 19 books will almost have done the same page counts. But so I'm gonna keep it like this. We'll see where we get next year. Of course, I still have a huge number of new releases that I would also like to get to. Now, in all honesty, I never really get to a lot of new releases just because there's so much on my TBR that's still waiting around. But so the idea behind this TBR was I wanted to get 19 books off of my shelf. And so when I went through my shelf, I didn't really look at like size or anything like that. I just looked at the books that I really wanted to get to first. So yeah. seems like I really want to get to the big books first. But so yeah, so 10,660. There are a couple, but not a lot, like 3 books maybe, that are in the 200 pages. Brandon Sanderson's novella amongst other things, but that's actually not the shortest one, I think. So Brandon Sanderson editing a bit, but yeah, I won't hate him for it. I absolutely love Brandon Sanderson's writing, so I don't mind that it's that even his novellas aren't like the shortest books on my list. The biggest book on my list is Brandon Sanderson's Oathbringer with 1,233 pages, but it got some very close competition with War and Peace, which is 1,215 pages. So my plan for getting to these books is basically, so it's 19 books in 2019 if I read 2 of these books every month. That would mean that I've finished in October, but of course if I'm gonna read like an Oathbringer or a War and Peace, that's like a month, maybe, I don't know. I read Words of Radiance in 2 weeks, and that was, I believe, even more pages, but it could also just be an edition difference. But so yeah, there is a chance of me finishing it quickly, you know. If I'm as invested as I was with Words of Radiance, I might actually get to Edgedancer and Oathbringer in the same month. So I won't make a statement there, but so the idea is to get to 2 of these, to try and put in 2 of these every month until October, and then I'll figure out what. But War and Peace, I'm pretty damn sure. Anna Karenina for me it's about the same size, I think, as Anna Karenina, and Anna Karenina for me took a little over a month. So War and Peace will probably be the same, so it'll probably set me back a little bit on my goal for finishing all of these. But yeah, I'm kind of daunted with the task at the moment, as you might be able to tell. I'm at least gonna give it a go. Now, I've also put these in piles for a reason, so let me tackle that. So I put them in piles according to genres, and I end up with like 4 overall genres, being classic, non-fiction, literary fiction, and fantasy. Like, non-fiction is not necessarily a genre that I have in there every year, but fantasy, literary fiction, and classics are, so it's normal for them to be on there. Classics is actually a little bit on the short side. I mean, this year I also didn't read too many classics, I think. I actually have to do like a wrap-up video of my reads for 2018, but I haven't finished yet, so that's something for the first weeks of January or something like that. But so yeah, I end up with 2 classics, being War and Peace and Nicholas Nickleby by Charles Dickens. The one non-fiction is A Short History of Nearly Everything by Bill Bryson. Then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 literary fictions, including like the 5 Booker Prizes, like The Plot Against America by Philip Roth, Murakami, War and War by Krasznahorkai, and I think The Fountainhead. And then the rest, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are my fantasy books. So the 2 Harry Potters that I'm rereading, the 2 Brandon Sandersons, then The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington, Kiss of Deception, The Bear and the Nightingale. Yeah, and that's everything. Suddenly it looks so concise when I put them in these separate piles. It also looks less daunting like that, because I have like a very short pile with the non-fiction there. But so yeah, wish me luck, I guess. What are your plans for 2019? Do you have any crazy ideas that if you put them, like, I definitely suggest if you make a TBR, you already have all the books like I do, definitely put them all together and see what you think of them, because in my case I just realized that I make a giant mistake when I made this TBR. But okay, let's see what happens at the end of 2019. I will already tell you that, so for 2018 I had a TBR of 12 books. Of those 12 I've currently read 5, and I'm planning on reading the 6th one in December still. And so actually, if I do not get to A Tale of Two Cities in 2018, this will exchange Nicholas Nickleby, which will also remove some 500 pages off of my page count. But yeah, I'll see. I'm really still trying to get it into December. But so yeah, see you guys tomorrow when I'll be discussing my 2019 goals. Being more realistic might be one of them, but okay.